saying I'm fine when the words restarted burst. I was saying I'm fine, but the sentence collapsed. Turns out some truths refuse to be passed. I rebuilt the verse without pretending, without speed. Let it limp a little, let it breathe. Final section, I don't need perfect sentences to say what's real. If a thought breaks midway, that's how you feel. I let the verse break in half so I wouldn't My thoughts run ahead of my body, always finishing the race, writing endings to conversations that haven't taken place. Live 2 minutes in the future, 5 steps past now, wondering why I miss my life while I'm standing in it somehow. This song refuses to keep up with how fast I wanna be. Every note drags its feet like it's testing me. I learned impatience isn't urgency, it's fear in disguise. Afraid that if I slow down, I'll hear what I've been avoiding inside. So I let the song set the pace, let it pull me back into the space between breaths. I never tracked, nothing dramatic waited here, just honesty, moving at the speed of what's real for me. If this feels slow, that's because it's telling the truth. I kept sharpening my language, trying to make it land. Like truth needs decoration to be understood by man. But every word I polished lost a little weight. I realized clarity survives what we don't say. The room felt fuller when I paused, then when I explained. Some meanings only stay intact when they're unnamed. So I carried this song carefully across every doubt, resisting the temptation to spell it all out. If you felt something rising right before I stopped, that was the line I didn't drop. That was the line I didn't drop. That was it. I was explaining my reasons for every scar I wear, trying to sound convincing, like pain needs to be fair.
I don't have clean reasons just survived. Sometimes that's the only truth that stays alive.
I don't need a better narrative or wisdom carved in stone. I needed to stop correcting what already happened to my bones. The verse collapsed because it should, not because I failed. Some structures fall so honesty can prevail.
I'm still here, breathing.
I'm still here, breathing.
I'm still here,
I'm still here, breathing. I'm fine, I'm moving forward, nothing holding me behind. I say it like a headline, I say it like a line. I'm fine,
I'm moving forward. That's what I learned to say. Some words are just directions, not places you can stay. I'm fine,
I'm moving forward. I didn't repeat the verse for comfort, I repeated it for proof. To hear when the sentence cracked and finally let in truth. The lie didn't break from pressure, it broke from time. I stayed long enough to hear the lie.
Now I know
what fine means.
I'm fine, I'm moving forward. I didn't repeat the verse for comfort, I repeated to hear when the sentence cracked and finally let in truth. The lie didn't break from pressure, it broke from time. I stayed long enough to hear the lie.
Now I move what fine means. I said what I needed early, before courage disappeared. Some truths don't need patience, they just need fear. I didn't decorate the story, didn't soften the sound. I put the weight on the table and stepped around. This is all I needed to say. Anything more would blur it. I'll live inside this quiet for a while. This is all I needed to say. Anything more would blur it. I'll live inside this quiet for a while. I watch the day rearrange itself without asking me. Shadows moving patiently into where they need to be. Nothing begged for urgency, nothing tried to win. I wondered why I rushed my life, like it's late again. I thought delay was danger, like waiting meant decay. But the sky doesn't apologize for taking all day. Some endings don't arrive loudly, they just show up whole. I learned not everything meaningful needs control. There's no lesson waiting here, no sentence dressed in gold, just the quiet understanding that slow doesn't mean old. I've been walking with dust on my boots, learned my lessons the hard way through. I built my name on what I could hold, but strength alone leaves a man cold. I shook hands with fear, called it fate, tried to outrun heaven's weight. But every road I chose in pride led me back to where mercy died. I heard your voice beneath the noise, calling sons, not perfect boys. I'm still standing on grace, not ground, not on the highs, not the letdowns. Every step that I couldn't trace was held together by holy grace. I don't stand tall, 'cause I was brave. I'm still standing, standing on grace. I've seen storms preach better than men, I've watched hope rise from broken ends. When the night tried to take my name, you called me yours and changed the frame. If the cross still speaks today, then shame has lost its right to stay. If the grave could not prevail, then neither can the lies I tell. Grace unending, love so strong, hold the weak and lead them home. I'm still standing on grace, not fear, not by sight, but faith sincere. When my strength has lost its place, I rise again on amazing grace. When I fall into eternity, grace will still be holding me. I learned early how to hold my breath, carry silence, carry death. They said a man don't ever break, just bend his soul for duty's sake. I loaded guilt like loaded steel, never said what I could feel, but the heavier my armor grew, the further I drifted from the truth. There's a weight a man can't carry, no matter how strong his hands may be. There's a burden only grace can move, only lifted at the feet of you. Tried to earn what's freely given, tried to climb my way to heaven, but ladders break and strength runs dry when mercy's waiting low nearby.
If you care
don't need to prove I'm worthy, I need the cross to carry me.
Lay it down, sons redeemed.
Grace is stronger than you've seen.
There's a weight a man can't carry, and tonight I'm setting free.
What I drop here you remove, I rise lighter because of you. walk away, not empty-handed, but free from weight I never commanded. They taught me early how to fight, how to hide the cracks inside. Be the rock, don't ever bend. Stand alone till the bitter end. But the heaviest weight I ever bore was proving I didn't need you, Lord. Then I learned where power begins, not in fists, but when a man kneels. A man who kneels is a man made strong. He don't run, he don't pretend long. He lays his life at mercy's feet. That's where heaven and earth finally meet. I don't lose my voice when I bow. I finally know my purpose now. I don't fear surrender's cost. I fear a life where faith is lost.
If Jesus knelt in darkest pain, who am I to stand in vain? I don't bow 'cause I am weak, I bow 'cause I believe.
Father, Lord, reply our praise. Lift the King of endless days. A man who kneels will always rise, lifted up by holy fire. I don't stand by what I feel, I stand forgiven. A man who kneels. When my knees touch sacred ground, that's where my true strength is found. I've let go of things I should have kept, held on to lies that slowly crept. I've walked away when love stayed near. Let silence speak louder than fear. I slipped through nights I couldn't name, lost myself inside the blame. But even when my faith was low, there was one truth I came to know He never let me go. Not once, not when I ran, not when I was numb. Through every fall, through every low, my God was faithful. He never let me go. I felt His hand when I couldn't see, felt His grace holding on to me. Not a contract, not a deed, a covenant that's always real. If love could fail, I'd be undone, but love stood firm when I couldn't run. The cross declared what mercy knows. Once you're His, He won't let go. From my first breath to my last song, I was held all along.
I don't know how the moment sounds when time lets go and faith is found, when flesh releases final breath and life walks calmly into death. I don't know if my knees will shake or if peace will overtake, but I know this hope remains. My shepherd knows me by my name. When heaven calls my name, I've walked with God through shadow days. I trust Him with the rest. I don't bring medals, crowns, or proof, just mercy written into truth. If all I have is Jesus' blood, then all I have is more than enough. If death is just a doorway wide, then fear is nowhere left too high. I don't fear crossing over flame. I know the voice that calls my name. When heaven calls my name, I won't be afraid. I've walked with God through shadow days. I trust Him with the rain. Holy, holy, worthy Lamb, welcome home, forgiven man. When heaven calls my name, I'll answer without shame. Not because I live so well, but because grace prevailed. When heaven calls my name, I'll finally be home. Morning breaks on a silver field, dew on grass like quiet tears. A lone fence sings with rusty wires. Every sound feels sincere. The mountains bow in humble light, as if they learn to kneel. I hear my name in the moving leaves, teaching my heart how to heal. I walked so far to lose my fear, but found my soul still here. Where the wind still prays and the sky listens close. Every breath I take feels like mercy I don't own. If I ever get lost, I'll come back someday to the place my heart learned hope, where the wind still prays. A river hums an old refrain from stories older than time, carrying pain, carrying joy, like it knows what's mine. I threw my doubts into the stream, watched them drift away. Some truths don't need a voice, they just stay. Where the wind still prays and the earth forgives every broken dream, still finds a way to live in wind still prays. I lay my worries down, no crowns, no shame, just grace on sacred ground. Sunset fades, but faith remains where the wind still prays. I cried for help with shaking hands, demanded God to take command. I marked the days, I watched the skies, measured mercy by replies. But rescue didn't come in speed, it came in strength I didn't see. While I begged heaven to intervene, God was teaching me to breathe. God didn't rush my rescue, He stayed until I grew. He loved me through the waiting room. That's what true rescue does. I thought delay meant He was gone, but presence doesn't move along. He didn't save me from the fire, He stood with me inside. If Lazarus stayed 4 days still, then waiting bends to holy will. I don't demand a faster plan, I trust the timing of His hands. Wait on God, He won't delay. His perfect time will find its day. God didn't rush my rescue, He shaped me through the flame. What I called suffering and loss, He used to change my name. Was enough. asked you where this road would lead. You answered not with clarity. You gave me light enough to stand, but never showed the distant land. Beg for signs beyond the bend, a map that showed how this would end. But faith was never meant to see. It's walking blind responsibly. I trusted God without an ending, without a promise I could claim. I didn't know the final chapter, but I knew the author's name. I don't need certainty to stay. I need obedience today. If trust is faith without control, then take my sight, you've got my soul. If Abraham left home unsure, then not knowing is secure. I don't require destiny, I trust the one who's leading me. Trust the Lord with unseen days. Faith will guide you through the haze. I trusted God without an ending, without a plan I could defend. If all I know is God is good, then that alone is how I stand. The ending isn't mine to write. I've seen forgiveness cheaply worn, grace treated like devotion torn. But mercy didn't bleed to be a background sound in history. I've counted blessings, skipped the cost, forgot what Calvary exhausts. But grace deserves a deeper life, not borrowed faith, not casual Christ. I will not waste this grace, I will not live unchanged. If Jesus paid with wounded hands, then I will honor what He gave. don't earn love, I don't repay, but gratitude reshapes my way. Obedience is how I say this grace was not received in vain. If Paul ran hard till final breath, then grace must outlive comfort's death. I don't abuse what saved my soul, I let it take control. Not in vain, not in vain. Grace received will never be the same. I will not waste this grace, not with fear, not with shame. Every breath becomes my praise. I will not waste this grace. Grace didn't save me to stay still. I once built walls around my heart, called it wisdom, called it smart. I learned to pray but not to hope, kept belief on a short rope. Fear spoke fluent theology, quoted facts convincingly, but truth doesn't shout, it stays, waiting for my faith to raise. My faith outgrew my fear, not overnight, but faithfully. Fear lost its voice when trust stood tall, and grace outpaced it all. I don't deny the dark I see, I just deny its authority. If God is still who He's been, then fear can't win again. If David ran toward the giant's sound, then courage is holy ground. I don't fear what I can hear, my faith outgrew my fear. Feed the rise, fear bow low. God is greater, we all know. My still whispers, faith replies.